Welcome to part 2 of our video of Parti Liani, an Indonesian domestic worker who was acquitted of charges that she'd stolen from her wealthy businessman employer, Liew Man Leong. The case hogged the headlines, caused a public outcry, and led to a 9-hour debate in Parliament over the fairness of the criminal justice system. In this video, we focus on what happened after Parti was acquitted, and we ask the question, was justice truly served? On the day Parti was acquitted, Parti and her lawyer, Anil Balchandani, held a press conference. During this press conference, Parti's message to fellow domestic workers was,
pesan dari saya, kalau mau kerja ke luar negeri, harus mempunyai mental yang kuat, jangan kamu menyerah. Dan kedua, kalau majikan menuduh karena kamu tidak bersalah, kamu harus berjuang. Jangan menyerah atau mengakui yang tidak seharusnya kamu lakukan. Itu pesan saya.
Shortly after, Home organized a crowdfunding campaign for Parti with a target of $28,000, her monthly salary over 4 years. Remember, she was not allowed to work during the entire 4 years. This target was reached in less than 24 hours, reflecting overwhelming public support. Days later, the AGC, the police and MOM said they were reviewing the High Court judgment to see if further action needed to be taken. The Attorney General, Lucien Wong, recused himself from this review as he had been on the board of Capital Land while Liew Man Leong was chief executive and president of the company. After the public outcry, Liew Man Leong stepped down as chairman of Changi Airport Group and Sabana Jurong. He also resigned from his positions in Temasek and Temasek Foundation. Also in September, Parti applied for disciplinary proceedings against 2 public prosecutors, Tan Wee Hao and Tan Yan Ying, over what Anil described as sleight of hand over how they handle evidence during the trial. The issue stemmed from a DVD player that Parti was accused of stealing from the Liews, which turned out to be faulty but was presented as working by the prosecution. The disciplinary hearings finally took place 1 year later in September 2021, and in March 2022, the panel decided that the DPPs did not intend to mislead the court, and so the DPPs faced no disciplinary action. In October 2020, 14 MPs filed parliamentary questions on Parti's case, demonstrating just how much public interest there was in the acquittal. In November 2020, Law and Home Affairs Minister K. Shanmugam made his ministerial statement on Parti's case. You can read a response to his statement at the link on screen. There was also a marathon 9-hour debate in Parliament, where Workers' Party Sylvia Lim raised questions over whether Singapore's justice system puts everyone on equal footing.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House affirms that fairness, access and independence are cornerstones of Singapore's justice system and calls on the government to recognise and remedy its shortcomings in order to enhance justice for all, regardless of means or social status, including facilitating a review of the justice system.
The Workers' Party's original motion was amended by the PAP's Murali Pillay and passed in Parliament. The Workers' Party did not support the amended motion because it implied that there were no shortcomings and that there would be no review of the system, which were key aspects of the original motion. Following their review, MOM said that it was not taking further action against the Liews for illegally deploying Parti, outside of the caution that was given to Mrs. Liew and the advisory that was given to Carl. In December 2020, Parti became one of the Straits Times' 20 words and phrases that defined 2020. In January 2021, Parti finally returns home to Indonesia after 4 years of fighting for justice. Some months later, in April 2021, Parti's hearing for compensation from the AGC began. Notably, this is the first time anyone has filed for compensation from the prosecution. In June 2021, the judge denied party compensation. The judge deemed that the prosecution was not frivolous or vexatious and that they brought the charges based on sufficient evidence. In February 2022, Minister Shanmugam gave updates on the police complaint that party filed, where she complained about number 1, possible tampering of evidence in court. Number 2, interrogation without an interpreter present. Number 3, delays in securing crucial evidence. Number 4, the misleading crime scene sketch, where the crime scene specialist sketched what he was told to by the IO, namely the 3 boxes, rather than what he could observe. At the time of the visit, it had already been more than a year after party was terminated, and the boxes were not even there at the Liu's home. The Internal Affairs Office conducted the investigation, and 2 officers were found to have neglected their duties and fined.
How much were they fined?
It was not revealed. Carl was charged in November 2020 for furnishing false information to a public servant and providing false evidence in court. The AGC later reduced Carl's charge to one of providing a false statement in court. This reduction in Carl's charge meant also a reduction in the maximum punishment that could be meted out to Carl, from 7 years imprisonment to 2. In any case, both Carl's defense lawyers and the prosecution argued for Carl to be spared a prison sentence and only given a fine based on his claim that he had Parkinson's disease. The prosecution also declined to accept party's victim impact statement, which she had prepared for the judge to consider in sentencing. In party's victim impact statement, she detailed the devastating impact the Liu's actions have had on her. She was not able to support herself or her family for 4 years, and she has suffered irreparable damage to her personal relationships as well as her reputation. In the end, District Judge Eugene Teo disregarded the recommendations of the defense lawyers and the prosecution and sentenced Carl to 2 weeks in prison. He stated that the end result must leave no one with any doubt about our tolerance for such brazen fraud in the face of the court, upon the court. Party's freedom was a victory, after a long and exhausting fight to clear her name. Some view it as a testament to how our justice system has prevailed. But her case exposed systemic failures and raised concerns over the conduct of law enforcement authorities, including the police and the prosecution. While some lapses have been acknowledged and certain individuals punished, it's unclear if adequate structural reforms have been taken to ensure access to justice for the vulnerable. In another video, we will review the recommendations Home made after party's acquittal 5 years ago and take stock of what has been done to improve the criminal justice system.